Hey, what's up? It's your girl, Little Keith Ali, and I know you're thinking, like, what are you doing? It is not Wednesday, it's Sunday, and I'm throwing you all off. Well, I have a reason. All right, with me having DONs in so many different states, I like to keep you up to date as much as possible on areas of opportunity. All right, areas that they might have gotten cited in. So today I want to talk to you about how to master your medication pass. Okay, so this video is not just for the DONs, it's for your LPNs, it's for your RNs that work the cart, all right? But the DONs, I cannot stress this enough. It is so important that you do medication passes with your team at least quarterly, all right? At least quarterly, okay? We want to stay ready so we don't have to get ready, all right? So let's jump into it. I was trying to drink my coffee, but all right. So what I'm talking about when we're talking about your medication administration pass, right? It's not just the cart, all right? We're talking about omissions, all right? And this is going to bring it back to that morning clinical when I'm telling y'all, pull your missed medication report, all right? Because you want to identify not only medications that's not being administered, but more importantly, what medications aren't being administered. All right, you have what? Significant and non-significant medications. All right, your significant medications can go into a negative outcome if you're on that med cart and you have, for example, a resident who is on metoprolol. All right, metoprolol, what do we know? All right, we know that that's for blood pressure. All right. And I'm bringing this up like this because I see this happen a lot of times, all right? Especially when you have family members get involved. For example, your family member comes and visit, and they see what? Medications at the bedside. Okay, we're ready to, that's a no-no unless they have a self-administration order. Or they might find meds, on the floor, and, they'll bring it to you and say, hey, this isn't the first time that I found these medications. All right, but I'm a little concerned. Why? Because mom's blood pressure keep going up. All right, so now when I come in here, I'm seeing that she's not getting her medications. And high blood pressure, we already know, can lead to stroke. All right, so imagine you got this patient who is consistently missing their medications. One, because the nurse perhaps are leaving it at the bedside, all right, and we know that they're not allowed to do that unless the resident has a self-administration order. Two, the meds are being found on the floor. Or three, all right, the med is not available, all right? And you already know, anytime anything is not available in the facility, we're going to what? We need a root cause, all right? We need a root cause. Why isn't the medication available? All right, and this is going to go all into that whole 483.45, all right, with the error rate, and 483.45 also part 2 in terms of significant errors, all right? So we're going to be looking at all of that, all right? You have to identify why isn't something available in your facility, all right? And then, again, if the root cause is, it wasn't ordered, all right, the why. That means that you need to identify a cutoff date for when to order these medications, all right? And then check your PICSIS or your e-box, all right? A lot of times as DONs, we don't know that we do have the ability to say, hey, you know what? Instead of us having this list of medication, can we perhaps have these medications, because we notice that the residents that we have in our facility takes more of these than what you're actually providing us in our e-box. You do have that ability to switch those out, all right? So make sure that when you're meeting with your pharmacy consultants, make sure you are having important questions, all right? Make sure that the services that they are providing you meet the needs for your facility, all right? You don't have to take everything that they're just giving you. Make it make sense for your building, all right? So when, where's my, when we're talking about the significant and non-significant medications, I want you to root cause that, all right? So in your morning meeting, all right, and we talk about this in the morning clinical, you want to pull your missed meds report. All right, this is crucial, okay? This is going to be your omissions. All right, so it's important that you know what meds aren't being administered and why they're not being administered. All right, the other thing, when we're start doing our medications, and I'm seeing this a lot, all right, we don't have our list of crush meds. All right, we have to have this. All right, we have people crushing meds that are not supposed to be crushed. All right, so then that's going to go into another citation, right? Because we're not following the biological aspect when it comes to breaking down our medications per what that manufacturer says for that medicine. All right, so you want to make sure you have your crush meds list, and if you don't have this, you can check out Institute for, I think it's Institute for Medication Safe Practice, I think, .org, IMSP. .org. You can go there if you don't have one, but also, all right, get with your pharmacist, all right, and tell them that you need a non-crush med list, all right. And not only do you want that, you want a list that has your insulins on, all right. You want to know your insulins, right? Because every type of insulin has a different expires in a certain amount of days, right? And they're going to be different. So you want to have this on your cart as well, because why we need to be checking the dates. All right. Every week, someone should be checking your medication cart. All right, because we want to get these expired meds out. All right, not only do we want to get the expired meds, we want to get meds that are DC'd. All right, how many times you go in and the medication has been discontinued and the med is still in there. All right, the med is still in there. So which means we're not even following through, which I'm sure your policy says, hey, if the medication is DC'd, you pull it, return it back to pharmacy or whatever. But I know it's not supposed to be in the cart. All right, you have residents that discharged. Another big one. And what do they have? Not only do they have meds, they got narcotics. Narcotics still sitting in your narcotics box, all right? And you know that is an absolute no-no, okay? Because the person is not there. So why we keep counting these meds when the person is not even in the building? All right, you want to set the nurses up for success, all right? Yes, it's going to seem like a lot of work in the beginning, but the more you do it and the more you get nurses being responsible for being on the cart, all right, the easier it's going to get, all right, and the better outcomes you're going to start being able to produce. All right, so pull this Miss Med report. Every week have someone check your expired meds that's on your cart, DC. Any residents that discharge or meds that were DC, make sure they are not in the cart. All right. Now, let's talk about your actual med card. All right, so we know that we need to have this on our med list. We need to have our items labeled. All right, and that'd be like your beverages, puddings. All right, we need to have that. Your sharp container. All right, your sharp container, look at that. All right, this should not be 100% full to the top. All right, you know how many times we go in facilities and this is so full that you can't even get any more syringes in? No, all right? It shouldn't be no more than 3/4 full. All right, so you want to, again, check that. All right, because you want to start looking at your med card as a risk. All right, so if the state comes in, all right, you don't know when the state is coming in. All right, and as soon as they start doing an observation and it don't take much for them to just do a round, all right, not necessarily being on your cart, but all they got to do is do a round and can get you for all types of things just because you don't have a system in place, all right? So they're going to be checking for infection prevention and control. They're going to be checking for things that are labeled on your med cart, all right? The cleanliness of your med cart. All right, so these are some of the things that I want you to start thinking about when you are doing your medication passes, all right? Have enough tools and resources to set your nurses up for success, all right? Because when you have your survey, all right, there's a couple citations that can come out about that, all right, if we don't master this medication pass, all right? We have F759, which is the error. All right, we have F760, which is the significant, has to do with your significant errors, right? F761 would be like your biologicals. I know I spelled that wrong. F880, infection control. All right, so these are like some of the citations that you can get if we're not paying attention to the necessary things in our facility. All right, so when we're having our, again, morning clinical, pull your mismed report. Okay, pull your mismed report and then identify the root cause of why these medications aren't available. Do quarterly reviews on your patients quarterly. All right, make sure that they're getting competencies at least quarterly. All right, and you know, CMS, they give us a nice tool, a nice pathway that we can utilize, because they're coming in and doing the same thing that they said that they were going to do on the sheets, on the forms, right? So be proactive. Okay, if you are an LPN on the cart, when you get to work, hey, ask these questions. Hey, do you got a non-crush med list? Where's your e-box at? What do I do if a med isn't available? Because you don't want to be the nurse on the other end of writing that med not available and it leads to a negative outcome. All right, it's all about that, guys. I can't stress that enough. All right, protect your resident, protect your license. All right, you do not want to have a negative outcome from a resident missing an important medications because we might not be doing our due diligence to making sure we having everything put in place for our residents. All right, but not only that, have the nurses check the cart every week and make sure that what they need is in the cart, what they don't need is out of the cart. All right, focus on accuracy, not speed, when you're on your med cart. All right, and that's my spill for the day, and it's because why? Someone must have just got cited. All right, so I hope this video helps. As always, like, comment, and subscribe. And if you want me to talk about anything different, please let me know, because you know I will drop a dime for you. All right, have a great day.